Hi, everybody. Oop, wrong screen. I'm a professional streamer. Welcome back to the show. How you doing? Are you doing that good? Are you really doing that good? I don't believe you. Seems
doing
like a lie.
terribly.
Will!
Ugh.
Will, you're already level 5, huh? You're gonna be like level 6 and you're gonna carry us. Is that right?
Does this look familiar?
Yeah. Well, wait. He wanted to leveled up. He was only there for 2 sessions.
I thought he said he was gonna try to level up.
Nothing happened to Tyler, guys. Relax. He did not get replaced with Cardboard Tyler, okay?
That's really cool, Scott. What is that?
It's called The Art of Arcana. It's actually a really fancy and kind of expensive book about all of the original artwork for the various editions of D&D over the course of the years. It's actually a really, really cool collector's edition item. You can see it's never been removed from the package. It's a really cool item that somebody should, go out and buy for themselves, or maybe they could win it as part of an auction or a raffle, or as a reward for having made a large sum donation to a charity that was going on maybe last May. Transportation for something this heavy, because it is a rather large and hefty book, the amount of artwork in it, would make it kind of expensive to mail. So maybe like the people running the charity could like give it to the brother of the person that won it.
That's right.
Yeah, so they can like transport it back and hold on to it, and maybe it'll sit in his house for months, and then it like moves from one house to another, and it still sits with them, still unopened, because he respects the fact that a donation to a charity was made. But and you can't disrespect that.
I was like, that book looks so familiar. I can't piece it together, but I'm like, I've seen that before.
I have this book, and they have some pretty expensive metal dice that belong to Will.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so...
Will got some dice, too.
Yeah, I still have them. So, if Will ever wants
Are they on
them.
you right now?
What was that?
Do you have them on you right now?
Also in the package, Will. So also sitting right here within my arms. These ones, I won't lie, my daughter was very curious, so she did roll these. So I won't say these weren't open, so they were. It's kind of their own little velvet bag. Here we go. Oh man, look at this.
What's the brand? Because I wanted to reach out to them.
Iron Age.
Iron Age, that's right.
I mean, these are pretty sexy.
So nice.
like black with some different layers to it. It's a nice red. I mean, these are some pretty D's dice. Ready? Listen to this. Listen to this roll on my desk. Ready? You hear how heavy that is? Look, I want you to see this. So this is the standard. Like when we went to Tyler and I got these, I believe, when we went to the Wizards of the Coast thing, right? So look at the size difference between the one that came from the event that you were at, Messi, and the one that you were at, Tyler, right? So this is that one. This one sounds like. You hear how hollow that is? This one goes.
It's dense.
Like it's dense. It's like Messi's head dense. I just rolled a natty one, so we'll just
actually, if I shake my head
Which
really
one's
fast,
the dense
I can
one?
hear it.
The smaller one?
The smaller one is heavy. Like I mean, like it's like probably 5 or 6 of these equal the same weight as one of these.
Oh wow!
Because it's metal. Like it's crazy. So
Didn't know we'd be comparing sizes today.
it's not just size, it's all Arena. It's also with the density. You know what I mean? And it's not even just about the size of the density. It's also how you roll it.
That's how you roll it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
the motion.
Yeah, exactly.
The motion.
It's the flick of the wrist as you release. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah.
what, yeah,
Oh yeah.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, they were actually really cool. They heard about the charity event we were doing, and they actually came to us and were like, "Hey, give away these dice." Okay.
Wow, that's a really cool organization. Anyways, I just wanted to, this isn't like a promo or anything like that. I just wanted to point out the fact that, William, if you don't collect these dice sometime soon, social distancing, then guess what? I'm just going to say it's been a whole year. They have become mine.
It's been over a year.
It's not been over a year. We did the event in May.
Oh, we did in May.
Yeah, it's April. It's actually May 6th is when we had our event.
I don't know why I was thinking March.
I don't know, but how do I remember the date of the event more than you when you did
Yeah,
way
like,
more work than I did?
Read.
Oh yeah, nice. So May 6th is the day of the event. So if they are not removed from my house by 11:59 and 59 seconds on May 7th, they become mine, and I will open them and I will keep them forever. The gauntlet has been thrown. The die has been rolled. The book might be opened. You guys ready for some Dungeons and Dragons?
I really want to see when you open up the art book. Can you do it live so we can all see it?
Oh, absolutely, because he's definitely not going to come and get them by then.
no,
Because
there's no way.
yeah, social distancing and being.
Yeah, he just wants to be healthy. So
Yeah, of course. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things. Now it's just kind of a tease, like, because I can't let him in my house. Go away with your diseases, you know. All right. Anyways, so let's go live. This next segment is specifically for Tyler. So, Tyler, sir, if you want to join us, you before you have the conversation with them, I wanted to have a conversation with you about something entirely different.
Sure thing.
There you are. Music was a little loud for me. So, after all this is said and done, we actually didn't get your character's opinion of this past session. So I do want to have that RP thing with you. But we got, obviously, the level up portion. We got analysis moving forward. But we never got you, Tyler, not necessarily Ophios, but I guess Ophios as well, opinion of how last season ended. If we can grab that.
So, Ophios is probably pretty solidly connecting better with Rena and Yondis. But I would say his mind is wandering more than anything else right now. And his opinion of what happened was that, you know, we got the job done. We took care of what we needed to take care of. But what happened to the people that were that we had entrusted to help us? Where's Laszlo? Where's the people that we trusted? Who's this guy he still doesn't know that much about? Obviously, Rena talked to him. And then Rena's speech worked like a charm. Everything worked according to plan. So he's very proud of how everything came together, that his scheme that he had come up with his compadres, his friends, his squadron of wonderful humans, or parents, I mean, came together and worked properly. But he's chomping at the bit, having the information that Yondis has now about the family and having a direction of where these lopers are and where he can find them and what the biggest impact is that he can make to do this. But at the same time, he has this earworm in his ear of, is there something more to life? Something that Yondis and Rena planted when they were talking at the blacksmith earlier in Momley. Something he's been thinking about.
Our evil plan is working.
It's not an evil plan. It can't possibly be an evil plan. And then he's also fascinated with the fact that, and this is a question for you, Scott. Does he have the knowledge to know that his crystal saved him in that moment?
Oh yeah. He 100% knows.
Okay.
That crystal it did that.
Okay, so he is fascinated and is going to be studying his crystal and trying to find ways where like thinking about the history of the crystal and how it was bestowed upon him and how he can possibly save it, because he is both concerned and interested in the fact that this object that he's carried with him, that he's been able to pull magic from almost at will, also protected him without him having to do anything.
At one such time that you're sitting there and contemplating this crystal, kind of like almost like mindlessly thumbing the chip in it and the small little fissures along the surface. Most of the fissures, of course, from the inside, structural integrity, right? But fissures along the surface and kind of like thumbing the chip that's there. One point in time, you're kind of like staring at it and almost like falling into yourself. It's, you know, you ever notice like sometimes when you're like staring at something so mindfully or so mindlessly that kind of like your vision kind of behaves funny for a second.
It's like everything else gets blurry except that thing you're looking at.
Yeah, but like, which of course happens because that's literally how focus works, right? But it's like you become almost mindful of it. But like in like a way where you're like aware of it, but not like focused on it. You know what I mean? Anyways, it's like kind of like back of the head, kind of like noise. It's almost like everything around you gets darker, you know, for a couple of moments. It's not so dark that it's like literally dark out or anything like that, but everything seems to almost like dim in light for a moment. And then that's not what catches your attention. It's actually that moment where you kind of like you blink and the darkness that kind of like surrounded you for a couple of moments, or seems like it was a couple of moments, whatever it was, went away. And it's like almost you like blink, and all of a sudden the coloration, the ambient light, or whatever where you are, is back to normal. You kind of like you snapped back out of like that deep focus that you were in, where you were playing with the crystal and thumbing the crack in the fissures. I imagine your character, after having been like deep in thought about this sort of a thing, would almost like go back to whatever he was doing. Maybe he was preparing, like practicing, like summoning his what's it called, falchion to him. Maybe practicing, like if he likes the idea of the falchion in one hand or the other. If he likes the idea of using a spear instead of a falchion, you know what I mean, as a primary weapon, even though that's literally the one that you were kind of trained with forever ago. Either way, when he kind of like pulls his attention up from where he was staring down, and we are of course still in Momley, but you don't need to hide down in your caves anymore. You don't need to hide here or there anymore. It could literally just be sitting comfortably on a rooftop. Where is it that you would be sitting, actually? Where is it that you would have been deep in thought?
He would actually go to where, probably where the barracks had collapsed if it hadn't been rebuilt. The place where he fell.
This quickly. It's only been a few days.
Because if he's falling into it with this crystal, he would be pondering it at the location in which it occurred.
Okay, that makes sense. Actually, I think that's beautiful. So you would do that, like you said, kind of pondering it over there where the barracks had collapsed, where you had that fight with the Loper. And as you kind of like look up and you look over the rubble, you know, kind of like you're in the rubble, you know, right where the Loper had died. If you remember, it was like kind of like the base of it. You're over in that area and you look up and you realize you're not alone. There's somebody else in the rubble as well. You didn't hear them approach. You didn't hear them walk up or say anything. They're just sitting there comfortably atop a big chunk of rubble nearby. Looking at them, they're pretty obviously a Perrin man. He's wearing fine but comfortable, darker colored robes. Looks vaguely familiar. I mean vaguely familiar, but you can't quite put your minds to where it is you may have seen them before. But as you're kind of like looking at them before you even fully get to react, one thing that you do get an impression of is they are awe-inspiring. Before you even get to react, as you're kind of like looking and taking in the fact that you're there, you realize this is no man in front of me. This is something else. This is something much greater. Whatever it is that's before you is a force. It is a power that is both awe-inspiring and the most transcending of ways, and like awe-inspiring in the most like fear-full ways. You know what I mean? Like you can literally just kind of like, what is this? This creature before me, sitting so comfortably, looking so mundane.
I want to roll to see how I would react, and you're saying it's awe-inspiring, like fearful, like I would feel like if I can feel the power off of it, like this is a powerful being, whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna roll a Constitution save and set the DC at an 18.
Why specifically Constitution? Sorry.
Isn't that to keep my wits about me, or
That's
is that
actually
wisdom?
Yep.
Okay, then I'll do Wisdom DC 18 for him to not show any signs of fear or anything. All right, so he's shaken, and he's gonna kind of stand up and have his hand with the summoned weapon kind of holding it, but not in a threatening pose, just kind of on defense. And shield clearly drawn, but towards his side, not up in a defense mode, and say, what are yous?
I understand, Ophios, why it would be a little bit difficult for you to recall our last encounter. It was difficult to say the least. But I made whatever meeting with you I could at the time. Things have changed since then.
You're the ghost? Yes?
I am actually fondly referred to nowadays as Momeg. If only you knew the origins.
He just kind of shakes his head and just keeps like it like looks down away from it and is just searching his mind to try and recall that vision of the ghost regarding the chest earlier on, and trying to piece it together if that's truly who it is or if he's just.
You saw the ghost, and then you saw the person appear one time after that. Just one time after that. After they had given you the chest.
It was in the inn, wasn't it?
Yeah, after they had given you the chest, they appeared to you in the inn because it seemed like the chest being there gave it more of an anchor for it to be able to come to you. By the way, so you are able to, like, yes, this is the same person. But before, they seemed like a mage or something like that, sure, or a ghost or whatever it might be. But this is not. It doesn't. It looks like the same person. It doesn't feel like the same person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he would then kind of let his guard down a little bit more. So he would put his weapon away, but still have his shield in hand, obviously just chilling at his side on his arm.
Last time we encountered one another, we spoke briefly about your plans.
Yes, my plans, my purpose.
It seems as though you've had a moment of clarity recently.
You mean knowings?
He stands up, again, comfortably, not concerned about whatever posture you might have or whatnot. And I understand that you've already dropped your kind of threatening guard, but doesn't seem concerned at all, which makes sense considering how you feel. And he says, yes, they have infiltrated. They have found themselves a comfortable home. You see, they shouldn't be. They're an infestation. They need to be removed.
I believe there was reason you wanted this as well.
Our reasons align.
He kind of just stares at him, maybe even like leaning against some of the rubble.
It must be difficult trying to traverse this world, being as different as you are.
That actually pings in his head a little bit. You're not of this world, yes?
I was. Not too long ago, even. He says, kind of like looking over his shoulder, poignantly south.
And what are yous nows?
Very much of somewhere else. I can fix that, you know. Your speech. You've been working on it. It's impressive when you choose for it to be. It can be reversed. You can choose to have your native accents and speak more comfortably in a normal one if you'd like. Allow you to fit more comfortably with the different peoples that you'll be interacting with. There are many accents, you know. You've spent almost your entire experience since you've left your clutch in Vala. Very, very little experience outside of it. Having the ability to wrap your tongue around all the accents certainly would behoove you with your coming endeavors.
He'd drop his accent on purpose at this time, and he'd just simply say, yes.
Would you like that?
What aid does this give me? What do you get from this?
Again, your plans, your purpose aligns with things that I need done. Aiding you aids me.
He'll pause and think for a second, and he'll simply say, what other things could you perhaps do? And he'd kind of when he had looked away, he actually looked at his crystal.
Yeah, you look at the crystal. So I mean, he
Before
sees
he asked the question, he had
Yep.
looked at the crystal.
he sees the crystal. He says, "You know that crystal's not from here. That's not from Aurorum."
Which means I wouldn't be able to fix or replace. No?
It can be fixed.
So, is that something you can do?
It is. I'm currently working on something, and I think you and I can aid one another. You continue down the path that you're on. You continue hunting them down one by one. And I'll provide aid for you in doing so. But it is imperative you find your way to Zolgov soon. There is no Loper in Zolgov. However, I do have a vested interest there for another matter, as do you for your overall success, your course of action.
He's going to just simply interrupt and be like, do you speak to Mathis Cuddy at all?
Ah, the boy from Vigil.
The friend of Rena's.
They're acquainted. Quaint. That'll make things easier. I'm not referring to Mathis Cuddy. I'm actually referring to the commander of the city. The city falling would aid you in your goal, so I hope that you succeed in that. But specifically the commander. He needs to be removed. He's vicious and doesn't like failing. He's already failed in attempts to accomplish a task once, and a second attempt is underway. Hopefully that one fails as well, but whether or not it does, it'd be nice to remove him from the equation.
Makes sense to get rid of the closest city to Momley's.
You asked what I could provide for you. That's a question that I can answer for you better in time. But first and foremost, you've grown comfortable to a gift that I'd given you beforehand, but I believe it was on a bit of a fritz. And he'll actually kind of like gestures down towards the grounds. Now, I understand you do not have the chest with you that Rena usually carries on her, but that's okay. It still appears on the ground by your feet.
He'll lean against the rock and look at it and say,
When you turn your attention towards it, same as always, it automatically opens.
mm-hmm.
What do you say?
Is the gift in the chest or is it something else? You said you were getting rid of my accents.
Oh, I can fix
Or
your tongue.
adding more.
He says, I can fix your speech, no problem. And he actually will just kind of like, not even fully like reach out, just kind of like lazily reach towards you, make a little bit of a hand gesture, and you can literally feel your tongue almost like feel like it like wraps around itself. It's actually painful for half a moment, and then it just feels so different. Your tongue feels like not your tongue. You know what I mean? Like as if like it was both fell asleep and bitten at the same time. Like it's like, it's not feel right. It's so strange. Like you're so used to speaking with your forked tongue your entire life, but you've had to learn to force yourself to speak in a normal pattern for how long now?
Mm-hmm.
But after like fiddling with it in your mouth for like a minute or so, just trying to get comfortable with the strange way it feels, you finally are able to kind of like get your words out, and they feel wrong, but then as you listen to them more, they feel right. It actually perfectly matches the accent of those in Momley.
Will my tongue return to its normal state?
It's actually a little amorphous. You can speak in the accents that you choose to. It doesn't give you access to new languages, not a new understanding, but you'll sound native.
Useful.
The chest. There was a misunderstanding that's been resolved. An agreement that has been reached. When you look at the chest, you can see that it has inside of it, same as beforehand, a swirl of energies inside of it. The energies happen to be predominantly deep or dark in color, with a shimmering light that happens to be into it. It's almost like it's a pool of darkness inside there, but also has this swirl of like a bright light or a bright, like almost like liquid, trying to like swirl around, and it almost has to like breaks apart at points in time and tries to find itself in like little pools where at some point in time you might see like maybe 3/4 of the water is or liquid or whatever that's inside there is solidly the dark energy or whatever it is that's in there, and about 1/4 of it is like this mass of light, but then that like kind of like breaks into 2, 8, 16, 30, and then it kind of like breaks up more, and there's a whole bunch of like countless like little slivers of light that are kind of like almost like tadpoles inside of a koi pond or whatever it is, swimming around a whole bunch, and then they slowly get together in tiny little, and then those break apart as well, and it's a strange little view that you see in the chest.
Can I roll Arcana to see if I can recognize if it's like a specific type of magic it is, like whether it's conjuration, divination?
You can roll an Arcana check, sure. Let's see if anything pops up for you.
Nope.
Yeah,
that's a bad roll.
Yeah. So you unfortunately aren't able to discern anything for that.
Okay.
Okay.
He would simply walk forward and watch it and look at him, expecting him to explain more.
He says, you may reach in from time to time and take something out to aid you. Just don't get too greedy. Sometimes it reaches back.
He ponders that for a second and curiously goes ahead and reaches in to grab one single item.
You go to reach in and he says, not yet though. And the thing will kind of like snap shut right before your hand.
He'll startle backwards a little bit.
It's not just for you, Ophios. I do come bearing gifts for you, but you need the others as well.
He nods.
We'll see each other soon. Be successful.
He again nods.
And with that, you can actually see the form that you see before you kind of fades from being this like fine feature, like just like looks like a normal person with a nice clothes or whatever. It kind of like loses all of its definition and loses all of its color as it turns into almost like a dark shadow of itself. And then that like shadow of itself almost kind of like falls down into the ground where it is. The whole area around you gets dark for like a moment and just disperses, and the air around you lightens up again.
He'll obviously look around to see if there's any evidence of him walking there, like footprints, anything like that.
Nothing like that about.
All right. Then he would immediately head back towards where Rena and Yondis would be about, whether they're in different spots or if they are together somewhere in a tavern, perhaps, enjoying some beverages, getting drunk, and partying it up, which Ophios can't do.
Oh, why can't you do that, Ophios?
Immune to poison. No drunkenness.
Oh, poor Tyler. So you go find them. Sure.
Yeah. He's going to find them to tell them what he saw.
Okay.
So some RP to be happening.
So how long? You said it was only like a few days?
It's only a few days after everything that had transpired, so your character's
Okay.
kind of like still reeling from it. But all those things that we had talked about, your analysis of yourself and the situation, you'd have already kind of like had that internal or thought, but probably didn't really share it with everybody else yet.
Yep.
Where would we be, Yondis?
Yep, that's your guys' decision.
I don't know, maybe doing our jobs.
I was gonna say, are we like, where
We're
are we
not done
posted up
yet.
in the castle
we're not
or
done yet.
the main? Where?
What would be the first thing you do after you topple a mayor?
I'd ask Vance, but
We probably-
he
yeah,
seems
we probably-
MIA at the moment.
I feel like you guys would be trying to figure out who should be in power.
No,
we
yeah,
would
we'd
probably
be
be
like-
having a meeting with everyone over what to do now.
Yeah.
Would
that's what we're
Laszlo be there?
Yes.
Yeah, Laszlo would definitely be accessible to you guys. As would Vance. Vance would also be accessible to you guys.
they'll be there.
And what's her name? Nightingale would also be
she's
about.
back?
She would have returned. She'd be accessible to you guys for now. Letting you know that she would have to go again. Unfortunately, however, she does inform you that. Flint will say his own personal goodbyes, but he would. It's one of those things where he had helped you out, but he does owe her a favor, and so he's going to go make good on that.
Would the team want to give Flint a parting gift?
You fart in his pillow.
Like one of our items or something that we have.
What has he done for us? He got arrested.
Freaking, he's
Oh, he
the big
helped.
reason we were able to beat the.
He's literally the one that was able to dispel whatever effects
Yeah.
that was on him, stopping him from being able to be injured.
Yeah.
Whatever reason that was, Josh, he was able to dispel whatever effect that was to make a. I hope you guys understand. I came to that session for blood. Like I was like, I'm gonna
you
kill a
told me.
PC tonight.
You told me.
You always go. When do you
So-
not come for blood?
No. There's like, I'm gonna make this challenging. That session, I was coming for blood, and
Not the cards.
Um,
the dice.
I blame Sinatra girl.
So we have a bunch of different items we could have given him. Robe of needles, which one needle touch range attack.
Does
Oh,
he
yeah, I
need
forgot about
any of
that.
this?
I was gonna say I guess
he
it's kind
want
of
any
up
of
to
this?
him.
Yeah,
He sounded like he wanted a lot of money.
yeah, he did. But I'm also trying to think of like we could give him the dust of disappearance, which may or may not actually be dust of disappearance.
I mean, whatever it might be, you can figure it out afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Let's not waste time on that now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, okay. Cool. So you guys are having a meeting. Rena, want it be at the blacksmith trying to forge new weapons?
She'd want to be, but
right away.
there's
No.
more pressing things.
Yeah, you'd be able to do a
First.
combination of various different things. You don't have to be there every moment, but go ahead.
All right. So Ophios would essentially come running back towards the palace.
How fast are you running?
Brisk, not like sprint, not like.
Just messing with you, dude. Doesn't matter.
So it's like a light jog, you know. It's like Ophios when he takes his normal daily run. Just to go exploring, you know. It's not slithering or anything like that when he gets up there, but he's simply gonna wander in and say, "Rena, Yondis,
Hello,
have we
Ophios.
gotten anywhere?" You will noticeably hear him. You wouldn't even. You would hear this voice as if it was a villager of Momley right now.
Huh.
Well, wait. If we don't see you, then we're not gonna.
If
We're
you
gonna
don't
be like,
see
what?
him, like he literally walked into the palace and is just yelling, "Rena, Yondis."
But it sounds like him, just without the accent.
No, it sounds
No, we
like
don't recognize him.
the accent
Oh.
sounds just like it would be a normal townsfolk of
Yeah.
Momley.
Yeah, but it's still your voice, just with no accent.
It's a Momley accent.
No.
But-
He's saying it's your voice. Just like
Yeah,
this is
it's not
my
someone
voice
else's
sounding like
voice.
some douchebag from Southern Mass, and then this is my voice if I were to come from down south. You know?
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, it's
Okay.
still his voice, but it's oddly different.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be shocked. Giannis would be shocked, but not like
Chagrin.
Overtly upset. He should be like, oh, it's curious. Okay,
I feel like it's a perception 12 check.
a perception 12 check for what?
to recognize
us
that
to
it is
notice?
actually Ophios and not a village folk.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's
Just by
not-
hearing
not-
you?
Yeah, just by hearing it, because it's an accent. You haven't heard him have this normal accent. Oh my god, that was almost a natty one.
I know, I saw. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, so you
Okay,
guys
yeah,
know it's
we
him.
know
It
it's
just
you.
sounds weird.
Huh.
Nessie, Yondis.
Hey, Ophios.
Or Yondis, Rena. Yondis, you're messy.
Hi.
Um,
Hi, Tyler Ophios.
I
Rena's
ran
just gonna
in-
turn to Yondis and just say, "What? No, you're not gonna call him Lispy?"
I can't. I didn't use it enough when I had the opportunity, and now it's gone.
Are there other people in the room with you when he walks in?
Yeah, we're having a
we
big
were,
meeting
we
with
were
everybody.
talking to
literally
everybody.
Yeah.
I ran into a friend of ours, and I need to fill you in on some things. Is this meeting nearly over?
It's just getting started, baby.
But we can probably break for.
Yeah, we could.
We could break away just to talk if this is something quick.
Not urgent, but have we gotten anywhere?
We were just about to
We haven't started yet, actually.
Yeah. make the plan.
You're just getting everyone here.
Mm-hmm. We'll hold. We'll
He just
go
kinda
somewhere you can
stands
tell us
there.
what you need
He
to
just
tell us,
kinda
and then we'll come
stands
back.
there awkwardly, like.
Do you need to talk now? Is that?
No, he's just he feels awkward because he interrupted the meeting before it started.
Yeah. Well, I guess you didn't really interrupt anything because we
Because you're gonna
haven't
be at it
started.
too.
Anyway, yeah.
so.
Well, let's just
let's just
everyone
step to the
take
side.
a 5.
Mhm. Be right back. Hang on.
Not everyone's
No,
here anyway.
it's
so-
fine. It's fine. We can do this meeting first.
Great. So now we got to do that.
They'll all
So-
appear. I mean, but you guys can do your own thing first.
Yeah, we'll just step to another
Okay,
room, all three of
okay.
us, and then
Sure, go ahead.
like while we're waiting for everybody to
You
Okay,
remember?
what do you have to say?
You remember the shadowy figure? Oh, he'll suddenly go and he'll actually start talking in his normal lispiness real quick, just because he's choosing to. He'll just be like, "Yes, the man's with Rena. You have it, right?"
Are you talking about the chest?
Yes, yes. You remember the ghosts of a man that came to us?
Yes, vaguely.
He's different now.
In what way?
More powerful, it seems. But
So you talked
still
to him.
friendlies.
You had a conversation with him.
He came to me when I was studying this. It's cracked now. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah, it wasn't before, right?
It saved me when we were fighting, and he'll kind of look around, the commander.
Does it still work?
Yes.
Her obviously knowing nothing about
And
magic
he-
or anything.
He would say yes and just summon his blade into his hand.
Oh, okay.
So that's what it does.
Not exactly. Anyways,
Okay. Yeah, you don't need to tell us. That's fine.
It's no big deal.
he doesn't
Your thing.
he doesn't know that much about his crystal as it stands, so he doesn't feel right trying to share anything, and plus he wouldn't want to. He would simply say, the chest is different now. We need to be smarter with it, it seems.
Can I pull it out of my bag?
I was gonna say ass. Damn it. You wouldn't put it inside your bag of holding. You would know that would be.
Oh, right, not that.
Yeah,
I
it
meant
would
like
just-
my backpack, like
Yes,
my
Yes.
pack. Yeah, not the bag of holding.
not the bag of holding. That would be. It'd be fun. You want to do it? Huh? You want to do it?
No,
Yeah.
Let's make
Did you
everything
see
explode.
Laszlo's intro story?
No. Hey, can
No.
we Can we save state and then put it in the bag of holding, and then you tell us what happens, and then we'll load state?
No.
We're not gonna do that. Okay, so I pull out the chest and go to open it, I guess.
Scott, does it
Do that
appear?
When
and
you
does it open?
hold it in your hand, when you think about it, it definitely makes it appear on the ground in front of you. And same as before him, when you bring your attention towards it, it opens up. Now, Tyler, you know that this thing's only supposed to open once a day.
Yeah.
You just saw it 15 minutes ago, and here it is open again.
Wait.
What's different?
Well, and then you heard my description before, so that.
Yeah. So you
I was
see.
asking
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
Yeah. Just looks. And also, this is the second time it's open today. That's not normal.
Giannis will walk up and close it. And then try to open it again.
I was gonna say, try to open it again.
Does it open for a third time, Daelric?
Yeah, actually it does. You when you turn your attention away from it, or when you physically close it closes shut, and then as always, it just kind of like dissipates, and then you're like, huh. You focus on the thing again, but not just focus on it. With the intention of there being a chest, the chest appears again. When you bring your attention towards the chest that's on the ground, it opens again.
So we can just do this whenever now.
Can I reach
Not-
inside?
Exactly. And Ophios would actually stop Rena from reaching inside.
So you stop her from reaching inside, and
Ophios would simply say, "No, not yet."
Is there something different about it?
Yes. I was told, while we can take things from it, and it'll aid us. But now it seems it could grab backs. And seeing as I was told before that it wasn't readies, not yets, I fear it would grab backs.
What's on the other side? She'll just back away from it.
That I do not know.
You guys are being crazy.
How would this be useful to us now?
Messi just eats himself into it.
It dies.
Well, we can still get something from it. It still gives us aid. Something. I know not what's. But it's different. And we need to be more weary of reaching into it. And grab only what we think we may need.
Okay. She'll just close it.
But there's more. We need to go to Zolgoth.
I was thinking that, but I was also thinking Zatishk. Why Zolgov?
The commander there. He's not a good man.
Are any
You
of them?
think he's a loper?
No. But perhaps there's more reason to it. At least, the one who aids us told me so.
Well, I can't remember. Did you guys tell Rena about Mathis Cuddy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, Mathis is supposed to be there, right?
And he could probably use your aid.
It is closer than Zatishk. Might be a good territory to.
Not to mention, it would probably be the one to come towards this city first.
What do you think, Giannis?
We did tell Mathis Cuddy we were going to help him. And the only real supplies we have left here are us. After we lost all of Laszlo's men. The only thing we could really give is our time. Although, it would be nice to leave Vala at some point soon.
Why is that?
I just feel like we've spent a lot of time here, and we do have, and he'll take out the list again. We do have some important people that we need to visit. Put it away.
Who do you guys trust? Vance was obviously useful, as was Laszlo and Nightingale's.
Who do we trust for what?
To run this town's.
I would say Vance.
I would say Vance.
Commander Laszlo.
Commander Laszlo is a good title for him to stay as.
He might be helpful in some sort of training.
But perhaps we ask the peoples? Obviously, they're the ones that the favor is needed from.
They don't really know their options like we do.
We can present them.
Ugh. It's a lot of time and energy.
I would say appointing someone would be fine if
We're
I
looking for leadership.
said that they would be the one to help us out the most.
Yeah, Rena endorsement would definitely win them over anyway.
Well, call to assemblies seems to be in order, but let's talk with them first. But we're agreed. Once established, we head immediately to Zolgoth.
Yeah.
Perhaps even make a quick path along the way. Discover the land.
We probably are going to need it. If not for us, for militia.
No arguments from me.
We'll get there. We'll get to that when we get to that. Let's deal with this town first.
Yes. And blacksmiths. He'll look to Rena and perhaps work on that shields again and forge you some new weapons. Unless you've grown fond of the sword that you have.
The
magic
one you
sword.
gave me? Yeah.
You can also use those materials on the shield or something like that as well, Rena, if you really cared to.
Some what?
You can use those materials on the shield if you.
Like the Loper's body?
Oh,
Is that
on
what you're
the-
talking about?
Yeah. The
Oh.
lower body stuff on the shield if you really cared to.
I mean, yeah, I definitely want to
Yeah.
see what else I can make with what we gathered from the Loper. Try to
And
make something
then-
better for myself since I lost.
Speaking of which, I have yet to use this. Ophius pulls out a dagger that he found a long time ago and hands it to Yondis.
You handed what to me, sorry?
A dagger.
Oh, thanks.
And he's going to say, this was on a Loper's. It's magical. I know not what's.
Oh. And then he'll put it in a different pocket. I'll work on that tonight maybe if I have some time. Figure out what this is if I can. Is there anything I can get from first glance, Daelric, about what it might be?
Did you ever identify this dagger? I honestly am trying to
Nope.
remember what it was.
Nope, it's from killing the Loper with Rena and Adlama.
Magic book one?
It's literally, the magic book one.
Oh, that you were trying to figure out that you couldn't figure out.
Yeah, I've had the magic dagger on me since then. I never
Right.
identified it. It's just been on my guy the whole time. Because I had the sword of growing and shrinking, and then I also had found the magic dagger.
Okay.
I have to look into what it is to remember. I have to look into my old
Yeah, I'll
system.
do it. I'll
Yeah.
try to identify it tonight, so but that'll be like in between episodes, I think.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll see.
And then Ophios will also say, and if you've grown fond of that sword, I have another one's. Perhaps could be useful for somebody to hold on to keep hidden. He'll kind of look to both of you.
I have
course.
enough blades.
I was gonna say Yondis has one already, right?
You have
No,
the one.
you have the
you
one
have
I
the
gave you.
growing one.
I thought you gave the second one to Yondis already.
It's on me.
Okay.
Well, You'd already have one. I have like 4 daggers and 2 short swords and a rapier, so I'm kind of kitted up, but
You can probably get rid of your rapier and some other stuff, but
yeah. Or I could just throw away a dagger and replace it with a shrinking, growing sword.
yeah,
It's a useful weapon.
it's useful for hiding on your person. You can make it so small that you could probably slide a hand, hide it.
Yeah, I could use it. I'll get my daggers for to Laszlo here for some of the militia if they need it.
Good. Needless to say, let's get to work then. We have a lot to do in little times.
So you go to call your meeting with the others, and where do you guys going to have this meeting in the palace?
Yeah, we're in the palace right now.
Yeah.
The not quite palace, whatever you want to call it, right?
Governor's building or house or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, right?
Hammer, thanks for the raid.
Hey, Hammer. It's Hammer time.
Just can't touch this, bro.
Also,
From MC Hammer.
also, if you're a big fan of Dr. Horrible sing-along video blog, the hammer is my penis.
Amazing.
Okay.
If you don't know what Dr. Horrible sing-along video blog is, you obviously were too young during the writer's strike in 2008 and didn't get to appreciate that. So, thank you, Joss Whedon. You enhanced our boomer lives. Moving on. So you, and Neil Patrick Harris, and PH is a god that I would worship on my knees. So you are making your way to the palace area to meet with the rest of them, so on and so forth. I mean, you were already in the palace. My apologies. Yeah. When literally, as you guys are kind of like going into that room, you would hear a from the door, like up front, the actual like entrance to the palace itself.
We're never gonna have this meeting.
I'll go see who it is.
So you go over and you open the door, and you actually see a woman standing there, attractive, lithe, with a simple dress falling off, like easily, kind of like hugging her slightly kind of like hanging off her. One of those like summer dresses that you can imagine, right? Her hair is dark in color, bone straight. And it falls mostly down on her shoulders, slightly tied back in the back. She has kind of like a simple like elegance to like her features, so she's just like a natural plain beauty without being like outwardly stunning or anything like that.
Chat, roll for hotness.
Oh god. Luckily that doesn't work here.
Darn it.
Did somebody just say who the fuck is Felicia Day?
Wait, really?
Sinatra girl, do I have to time you out for not knowing who Felicia Day is? Because...
I mean, no, I wouldn't say that's necessary to be timed out there, but Felicia Day is a really good, really cool person.
So, was it? It may not be too classy, begging just to eat, but you know who does that? Lassie, and she always gets her treats. So you're wondering what your part is, because you're homeless and depressed. Well, home is where your heart is, so your real home's in your chest. Everyone's a hero in their own way. God,
All right,
it's so good! It's so good! Oh, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. Sorry. Moving on.
12 in hotness, Scott. 12.
Yeah, that's actually appropriate. Like, attractive, but not, like, stunning. You know what I mean? Anyways, she stands there and she says,
It's a 6 out of 10, guys.
She stands there and she says, hello. I believe you're Rena.
If Rena would have allowed it, Ophios would have tried to open the door with Rena just standing there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Trying to play the role of, like, her servant, sort of.
Okay, sure.
So.
Open the door.
You would have been there. He would have just opened the door.
No, I know. Anyways, she'd just be like, yes, and who are you?
Somebody who has all those songs memorized, Jasmine. Don't you worry about it. She says, someone who's actually more interested in Ophios here. But of course, I'd be more than happy to introduce myself to yourself and the other gentlemen and ladies that you had succeeded all this with.
Can I roll an insight?
Absolutely. Roll with advantage.
Oop. I hit it. It might roll before.
Ah.
Yeah. God damn.
Messed up.
I actually take a while to click, so the fact that Scott was so slow to say with advantage there, I'm upset about.
You'll live. So yeah, my apologies. You
Okay. So she's just gonna say,
Wait. Am I allowed to use luck in this session?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah, absolutely, 100%. Anytime there's a
Because
D20,
this is important for Ophios.
Okay.
Okay. That's
roll.
above a 15.
you notice a few things. First and foremost, she is playing calm, collected, has almost no interest in Rena whatsoever, and is 100% interested in speaking to you. So that you are able to pick up quickly and easily, because the way that she's speaking, like literally the way that her muscles move around her jaw and whatnot, that is no human jaw. That is no parent jaw. You come to realize this is a Sloko standing here before you, but not like you, a Slokono. You know, somebody who's kind of like the half snake, half man. No, this is somebody who's much more person, much less of the snake. This is a Slokana, I believe is what we called them.
I am a Slokana.
No, you're
That
a
would be-
Slokono. You're a Slokono, right? Do you have them
No,
written down?
It's subrace. Slokona. My race is Sloko.
I'm looking at it right now, so sorry. Where do you have that written?
It's underneath my. It's like right next to the name. So if you go back to my.
Oh, sorry, Slokona. Slokona is yeah, sorry. Eventually
Slokona is
Sloko is the race. Yeah.
Yep.
And you're a Slokona. Yeah, my apologies. You're a Slokona now. Why does it have cuss words behind you, Messy? What was that about? It's okay. I'll come up with what it is. I'll find out what the word is afterwards. It's not a big deal. But you know that this is the version that's much more human, and much less of the snake.
Ophios would simply say, privately, I presume.
so you'd step out from like behind the door then.
Yeah.
Okay.
She would say, if that's not too much to ask, I wouldn't want to offend Rena. I understand that you are quite adept at destroying things, and I don't want that to be an opportunity to make a good impression here.
She'll just look back at Ophios to see what he says.
He'll give you the look like I'll tell you later, kind of like
I'll tell you later. It's like, oh,
like
okay.
I'll tell you
Sorry,
what this
Rena.
is about later.
I don't sleep until.
Because unless Rena wanted to roll an insight to see if she could see that, but
I mean, it wouldn't really at that point. She'd just be like, that's fine, you know. And she'll head back, and maybe if you guys want to step outside or something.
yeah,
We have this meeting now, Rena.
yep. You guys
Without
have,
him.
Without him.
Without him.
he would step outside and then think about it and maybe try and go to a different room in the palace.
Sure. She would just kind of follow along with you, but as she follows along with you, she says, Ophios, you've been successful. What are you putting behind you, Messy?
Yeah, he's putting really dirty tweets.
It's the same one. He just had to adjust it so it fit the screen.
So
Problem solved. Let me just make something better here. Move that right here, and then move it up in the... there you go, everybody. You're welcome. All right. So,
okay, so you know my name, but what about yours?
Jesus Christ.
what was that? You said you know my name, but what about...
Yours.
Funny enough, Ophelia.
God dang it, Scott.
Great.
Yes. Successful in ways. The necessary ways, of course. What brings you here?
Sorry, try not to laugh. The same reason that brought you here. Except I came to see the aftermath and hear the stories. I've been speaking to the people and heard the rumors of what it is that you encountered when you fought the Loper.
He would, when she said the word, he would look around and just be like, perhaps we call them the creature for the time being.
She nods. So you haven't completely told them all the information?
Not all of them. Rena and Yondis, no. The others, I'd rather not. Too much to explain, too many questions.
You came from the clutch to the west, yes? The mountains?
He would pause and think for a second. Yes, trained by Ka. He's looking for her reaction when he says his name.
Yep. Because, what is it? Ka is still about, right? Yes, left you?
We didn't know whether he was alive or not.
That's right. That's right. So, because I remember what happened, that your entire clutch or whatever got destroyed. That's right. My apologies. Now I remember. Because that was Patreon game before even session 0. That was a long friggin' time ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So, yeah, she nods and says, if rumors are correct on that one, it is unfortunate what had transpired. You know, they did find the mushroom.
Where? There's a bit of bite to that. It, like, he kind of narrows his eyes.
About. Very unusual for their kind. Spending gold frivolously. Acting like a normal human. Very unusual for their kind. They're trying to trace back to his colony. Perhaps they can destroy it. If it's a strange mutation of what those people are supposed to be, let's not have any chance of him having shared the information.
And what of the other two that did survive?
2.
What was the name of the... Oh, do I have it in my bio? Is it Hansa? Hansa?
Wait, what?
The one I went on the mission with. The other...
Oh, yeah. So, but were you asking about the other ones that survived the onslaught against your people?
Yeah. He's trying to reference that
There were 3 people. There were 3 people that attacked. Your people.
One died, the mushroom got away, and another one got away.
Correct. She said we haven't found the other yet.
Okay.
They seem to be a bit of a slippery one.
At least somebody is finding them.
We're honestly not that interested in that one. We hunted the mushroom for a reason. He took one of the clutch.
An egg survived?
He took it and he sold it.
That is not good.
Like I said, we're still trying to find his colony. We're still trying to find where he sold it.
That would sell very highly, I'm sure.
If someone knew what it was.
Or if the creatures got a hold of it.
Lopers? She thinks she doesn't say that. Sorry, she says the creatures.
There's a family in high power here. They are all of their kind.
Please. Is this the one that you fought here?
One of them.
You found the lineage?
Thanks to one of my travel mates, yes.
The ancient lineage of the creatures, their most powerful bloodline. We have not been able to lure it out. And how many years have we been hunting them?
I'm going to roll a history check to see if Ophios even knows. Nope. Yes. Those days.
He's like 3 months?
He's like, as far as I know, it's before this place. At least before I was born.
Centuries.
But yes. They have infiltrated and are one of the highest families in this nation.
It was always Kaw's vision. He thought Paradel made sense. For some reason, he thought this is where they would be. If only we could understand his insight. I came to provide aid for you. You are trained to fight and to kill. To defend our existence and to destroy theirs. I had a very different training. I was trained to keep the lore. And I was trained to gather more. Practiced in the arcane arts, as most of us are, that are born with the gift.
He'd simply look to his crystal and look just a passing glance, just thinking.
It, of course, follows all the guidelines as given by the Arcane Congress, as we need to make sure that we do not stand out. We need to make sure that we always blend in.
He nods.
Will you people be convinced? Would they be interested in my lending my aid?
If I trust, I'm sure they would hear you out.
It's funny that we should cross paths. I was here. I was not too far from here. Just a couple of days ago. I awoke from my sleep. I had a vision. It was a dark dream. It was cast in shadow. But in those shadows, I saw a brilliant light. I saw you battling. And I saw it fall. I'm glad my vision was true.
I will say this. It was not by my hand for this one. Sure, I put a few...
She gently places her hand on your arm. It's one of those things that she places like on your shoulder, and like her fingers like drag down like the bicep a little bit and rest on like the crook of the arm. And she says, "We must wield many tools to accomplish our task. Some crafted by man, others by their mothers." And she lets her hands kind of like gently brush off of your arm and says, "I'm looking forward to meeting the rest."
Yes, perhaps I should get back to that meeting. Feel free to make yourself at home in this room.
She says, "I'm not welcome to join."
Perhaps
It's the smell of the road. I understand. I will bathe.
That's not what he was saying, but it's simply he would rather take care of this matter before bringing her in and have her speak just with Yondis and Rena.
You imagine she got that, but
Yeah.
with her being more human and less snake than you, she has more of a personality than you do.
Yeah.
And it comes off, so she comes off very differently than any of the other Sloko you generally interact with. So anyways, so you are able to like leave her there, and you can imagine she'll kind of like make her way throughout the palace or whatever you'd like to call it. The state house, I think is what you were saying, which is probably more appropriate. The state house, and kind of get familiar with it, but also eventually draw herself a bath and et cetera, et cetera.
Just to clarify, when you said half human, you meant physically, not like genetically, right?
It's a good question. He is about half, maybe technically less than half snake, and half more than half person. She is tilted even more towards the person side.
But like her parents weren't human. And
Oh
snake
no.
Okay.
She was hatched from an egg.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to get really concerned that Ophios might be able to reproduce, and that worried me. But
Who's to say he can't?
well, we already established she's smooth, so.
Just so you know, she could be considered reptilian. She could be considered mammalian. Who knows? Mammals can hatch from eggs. There is at least one that hatches from eggs on Earth. Is platypus the only one?
Platypus is the one that I can think of, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ, my wife is creeping at me through the... I need a real door. I need a real door. Oh my God, that scared the shit out of me. She's wearing
Just
like
staring at you like
a white sweater too, so I'm like, ah! Un segunda.
Spooky ghost.
trying to get his attention. Like,
I'm having a Jetsons moment. For you Zoomers, the Jetsons was a cartoon back before my parents were born.
It's
We're
the other side of
the
Flintstones. It takes
Where
place at the same
she's
time as
asking for
Flintstones.
my,
They just take place in the
literally
skies
asking
and the
for my
ground.
wallet at 12:15 a.m. She's giving me a look like, why isn't it in my hand yet?
Where's the it's the shopping network on TV.
His boy Elroy.
You're going to be broke by the end of
Thanks.
that.
You're gonna walk upstairs and the shopping network's gonna be on and this cheese whiz is
Yeah. Oh God. This is Corona cash. You know what I mean? It's like, I just gotta buy TV things. I don't think either of us have ever purchased something that was on television. Like, we've never like seen something on TV and purchased it.
Do they even do that anymore? I haven't had
there's
cable in
there's a
like
whole
5 years.
network of it.
I haven't been on a cable box in 5 years, so I have no idea.
Infomercials still air late at night.
I don't know what
with
an
that?
echidna is, Plex.
Look up. I shouldn't say that. The fun thing about echidnas.
Oh, I guess I could be a mammalian. Yeah.
Echidnas
'cause-
have.
okay.
Okay, so there's
Are you trying to describe something here?
Yeah,
there's
echidnas
more. The
are a little
duck-billed
special.
platypus, the short-beaked echidna, the eastern long-beaked. A lot of them.
I don't know if I'd call it a short beak.
It's all the echidnas. So, yeah, there's two technically species of mammals that lay eggs.
oh, it's Australian. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Platypus is also from Australia too, isn't it?
There are 5 living monotreme species. Yep, the duck-billed platypus and 4 species of echidna, aka spiny anteaters,
Yeah.
which are in Australia and New Guinea.
I mean,
Australia
that's so
has scary
close.
creatures.
I mean, their spiders are nice and friendly. They're just very big. Very, very big. Like,
Bigger
But
than
also-
a dog.
From a technical standpoint, mammals, while they don't lay hard-shelled eggs or soft-shelled eggs, they still have eggs.
Jake and Tesh hatched from eggs.
Australia, yeah, you know.
This is the only stream where I would ever see people nerding out over platypus. Well, we have to decide if the character that was just introduced into the
Is she a
campaign is like a
platypus?
platypus. She came from an egg?
You saying she has a bill?
No,
Well,
she
no,
puts
no,
on
no.
the door
No,
and
no.
becomes a secret agent.
She's a mammal that can lay eggs.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, I mean, you have eggs, Rena.
Okay, that's a
Yep.
different thing, but all right.
It technically, from a technical standpoint, if you get down to the genetics of it, it's still half.
Technicalities.
It's still
I
half,
think we just need
regardless
to
of
get-
whether they're laid or not.
let's just get back to the main point I was trying to make. That no, Ophios can't have children. Okay, let's continue now.
I mean, she was a 12 on the hotness scale, Sinatra.
Which is a 6 out of 10. Then you can do better.
Oh, Sinatra girl. Is she cute? If so, then platypus.
If she's not,
All right, so moving on. You guys gonna have your meeting because this is an important thing that you wanted to do from the beginning. I now want to know what's being purchased.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
we all
Ophios,
walk back in. Yeah.
yeah, Ophios, Rena comes back in, Yondis, and then Ophios comes in probably 10 minutes later.
all right. So in the 10 minutes, oh my god, you guys have
It takes a while to have that conversation and walk to a room and all of that. So
Sure. Okay. So yeah, when Rena comes back, everyone's like waiting. So Giannis would be like, "Hey, let's just start, please," and then we'll have our meeting, and then you'll show up like halfway through, I guess,
yeah,
or like
Okay.
10 minutes.
so
So everyone's there, right? Laszlo, Vance,
All of them.
Nightingale,
All of them.
the 2 soldiers we have left. I'm just trying to paint the room. Is that it?
All of them.
Vance. Yeah,
I
everybody.
said Vance.
Everybody. Oh yeah, sorry.
It's not a lot of people though. It's only like it's less than 10.
What are we in the middle of talking about? When he
We're
walks
deciding
in.
what to do now.
So I imagine that you guys are talking about your recommendations for the town and talking with Vance about whether he'd be willing to lead and
Right.
Okay.
which I imagine I don't know how Vance would react.
I was gonna
to
say
this,
I
so
would
that's
want to know what
ultimately-
Vance would say.
That's Scott.
So beginning of it, you come in the room. I'm like, hey, so Rena's here, so we're gonna start. Everyone's listening. I say, Rena, why don't you tell them what we were talking about?
Well, first I want to thank you all for coming and meeting with us. We're trying to determine what the next steps are going to be in terms of Momley and where we're going from here. We had a couple of ideas, but just wanted to talk them all through with you guys.
So, yeah, the biggest thing is the most immediate is that we're gonna need someone to take over the leadership role here in Momley, probably permanently. Now, if any of you want to volunteer, no.
What's her name? Nightingale says, I think we can all agree this is not something that was meant to be my responsibility. And certainly not something I have interest in doing whatsoever. So...
I assumed that to be the case. I was mostly referencing Vance and Laszlo.
Laszlo says, I mean, I can head up an army, I can do something like that, but if I'm taking over this place, just understand, I don't trust the people here yet. We're going to have them earn the trust. I suggest that we do a degree of martial law. Watch over them, make sure everything's kind of instituted. We have to quintuple the guard that was here before, just to make sure we guard the streets for when an insurgence finally does happen. I do think that I could do the task, but things are going to have to change. Their lifestyle is going to be altered significantly from how it was beforehand, for their own good, of course. And Vance literally face palms.
Yeah,
Vance,
Rena's
what-
got
what-
her eyes narrowed at Laszlo.
What are your thoughts here, Vance? I'm just curious to see what side of the coin you're on.
That's the Perrin way, he says, looking at Laszlo. And Laszlo's face screws up with anger on that one. And he's like, you were literally describing the Perrin way. Institute martial law? What, move them from their homes to other ones? Perhaps enforce work upon them they didn't intend to do? How are we ever going to win them over by... And he's like, I get the point you're saying, asshole. And he's like, all right, not looking to argue. I steps off of the tone and posturing that he had that was dude, you're an idiot. He steps off of it. He says, the people need to be led. They need to be coaxed into trusting the new leadership. I won't lie. Having Rena just up and walk away when she just took over might not be a good thing. I think you need to stay here for some time. Really coax them into trusting the new leadership, guiding them, being among them, They've seen the warrior. They know you can protect them. But now do they know that you can lead them? That you can provide for them? They need to see the softer side of Rena. It's an important distinction in their minds. And it's important that they fully trust you. And that we're here to back you.
I imagine this is when Ophios walks into the room.
Sure.
Sure.
And Nightingale, what a... Oh,
sorry
hey,
I'm
Orpheus.
late, guys.
Oh, that's all right. You okay? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's fine.
That's great. Why don't you just come on?
Oh, where were we? Seems like Vance here was showing his insight.
Yeah, we're deciding between Vance and Laszlo, but it sounds like Vance has already thought things through enough to possibly have considered this for himself already.
Not exactly. I'm saying that I think it's foolish for us to remove Rena from the equation so quickly. I understand that you have endeavors that need to take you to the road, but they need to see Rena. They need to interact with Rena. They need to have a softer experience getting to know Rena, so they know that she can provide for them, so that they know she can be here to lead them, and we can be here to uphold. Now, the two of you, both of you have a degree of renown here, but truth be told, not all of it's pleasant.
Nightingale, what's the news on the Zolgoth front? Is Mathis Cuddy doing okay without our help yet?
He's already begun insurgents. He's already started attacking, actually. He's taking an approach not too dissimilar to how it is that Laszlo had started here. Maybe a bit more teeth to the grind.
Well,
it means that things will come to a head sooner.
Right. So we don't have the time to keep Rena here if we want to fight there.
If you had a matter of days, how many would you say before it came to a head, Nightingale? Per your estimation.
She kind of shrugs slightly and says, I honestly am not a master of these sort of things. I suppose, send a little bit of my information to Laszlo and he can give his opinion. But Laszlo, your own raw take on it, knowing that he is being less delicate than you and Rena were in handling this place here, he'd shrug and say, I don't know. I think saying a week is generous.
It's not a lot of time.
Scott, real quick, a question that probably Ophios would know, based on whatever maps we had. I don't know if Zolgoth was on that map.
Yeah. No, it was not part of the hyper map or whatever, but you know that it's just to the north of you. Why? What's up?
Yeah, I was asking how many days ride would it be on our horses?
The thing is legit 3 hexes away. A hex is, so you're talking just shy. Right? It's like 36 miles.
It's like a day.
So if we pushed it, it's 40, like 2 days.
Hold on. What kind of terrain is this? Sorry.
It looks like it's flat. Yeah.
You can literally, if you push it, you can get it done in a day.
Yeah.
If you push hard, you can get it done in a day.
If we push to get only one exhaustion max, one exhaustion roll.
Because each hex is 4 hours, and 8 hours is a normal day of travel. So if you did 4 rolls, you can get it done in 12 hours straight. Like you could be there technically before sunset. Okay. Like leave before sunrise, get there before sunset. If you push hard.
Safe wise, it's like pushing decent is 2 days.
Yeah, you can get there even lax in 2 days. You know what I mean?
Okay. 2 days. Okay. Without pushing.
Yeah. Okay. Ophios will kind of pause and just start thinking. If the conversation continues, it can.
Yeah. Laszlo, do you think you could buy any time there for us? If you went without us to Zolgoth and helped lead.
Who's gonna watch the streets here?
You got a good point.
I have an idea.
You could leave some guard.
What guard?
Another.
I got one guy who might lose his leg. Either way, he's not going to be standing for a while. And I got another guy. He's got a couple of wounds, but he's still willing to fight. And then you got me.
Hey, Laszlo.
Look, gives you a look.
I understand you don't trust people of this city. But perhaps it's a two-way street. What I see as being the best possible option from what I can tell based on the information that I have of what Vance was saying. I know not what you were saying earlier, but I can only imagine what it might have been. Would you two be able to work and find compromise between you two?
Hey, listen, I'm always willing to figure something out. He says, looking over at, what's his name? Vance. I'm always willing to figure something out. He says, looking over at Vance. I'm here to literally do what I can. And Vance says, we both have our talents, and we can definitely find the best way to utilize those talents. But even if we're utilizing those talents, I still think it's too soon for Rena to leave.
3 days.
You're talking days. I'm talking months.
We don't have that kind of time, unfortunately, Vance.
It's going to come at a cost then.
Everything does.
But I have an idea. One that could perhaps aid you in understanding the people more, Laszlo, and aid you, Vance, in finding a middle ground that the people could appreciate. I understand many of your men were lost, Laszlo. Here in the palace itself, 2 guards were spared. They are alive today. Yes, it was 2.
Oh, that's right. The third one we killed. Yeah, gotcha.
Perhaps consulting with them about what it is that they've done. And Vance, consulting with the people. I presume some here might still know you or know of you. They already saw you both alongside us. Laszlo, maybe not so much. And by alongside us, I mean alongside Rena. Rena, what do you think?
I understand the importance of getting to Zalgov quickly. But I also see where Vance is coming from in terms of having the people's trust and now needing to keep it. If this is going to be something to benefit us in the long run, then it needs to be done right.
Needless to say, Momley does need to be rebuilt. Get the prosperity back into it and not have it be run by guilds of sorts. Yondis. He gestures questioningly to you.
I don't really know. I'm thinking.
Vance, if we were to try to build up an army, how would you go about it?
Build up an army? I mean, I haven't led an army since I was... I'd look for people who wanted to fight. I would look for people who were willing to fight. I'd pick them out, train them up, do what you gotta do. Vance says, you know, there actually is a really good method for trying to find exactly what you're looking for, he says to Laszlo, to inspire people to want to fight. Perhaps a speech by Rena, who has showed that she intends to stay, who intends to take care of the area, safeguard them. A good speech by Rena, similar to the one that we saw, obviously not in tone, to the one that you did before. That would inspire people to want to stand up and defend their home. I mean, again, when they see how soft you can be, letting them know that you can take these lands, but you need their help to hold them, and Laszlo will do what he does best there. They volunteer to you. And then he hardens them.
Because no matter what, Paradel's going to be coming back for this place, and Zolgoth is the closest. The reason we're going up there is not only for Mathis, but to perhaps protect Momley from being assaulted again and having civilians' lives lost.
As Laszlo's like, yep. I say kill the son of bitches while they're so close. First of all, it's a quick trip there. Second of all, gets them off of our back step. We don't want them there. We want to be able to just breathe easy, you know? Look across the street, see friendly neighbors only. That would be the ideal situation right now. And Vance says, of course, having our enemies not so close to our back door is a good idea. But on the other hand, you can only eat a sandwich one small bite at a time. If you stuff too much in your mouth, you can't even chew. And you risk choking.
Vance, you do understand this is a very good opportunity, though, right? We might not get
it is a great opportunity to lay a foundation of trust.
I think it comes down, Rena, to a few things.
What if I were to explain that to the people? That this was a move I was making for them.
You have to spin it really well.
Yeah.
I mean, they've heard that before from the leaders we just removed.
How wealthy is this town? Is that who's laughing?
It was an in-game or out-of-game question.
No, it was. This is in character because Ophios just remembered something, and he's thinking about that whistle the little Birdman gave.
You asked that, you asked that, and it's actually Nightingale that chuckles a little.
I mean, they would all chuckle.
No.
How wealthy was this town?
Oh, going back over a decade, this town had a considerable amount of wealth, but that wealth was taken because of the way that the laws were rewritten in the favor of a different prince, and so therefore a different province over this town. The commerce takes place, but the taxes are paid elsewhere. I'm a fool. Laszlo kind of gets a smile on his face, and Vance says, well, we're going to have to make a decision. We either continue paying those taxes to keep the other princes happy, or we keep the taxes, keep the commerce, but raise their ire much quicker than it otherwise would have been.
This town needs to grow, and the people are starving. Perhaps we can have some sort of influx.
Personally,
Rena, you still have that whistle?
I believe I gave it to Nightingale.
No, you showed it to her. You didn't give it to her.
Oh, I just showed it to her? Okay, just kidding. Yes, I still have it.
Kind of like, I'll show you yours if you show me mine. And she was like, haha, tricked you.
She's like,
I can't see anything.
Perhaps this is an opportunity
And you're like, I didn't want to see that.
for those funds we found. He'll look to Yondis.
God damn it, Tyler.
Not ours. Not ours. He's saying that we gave the initiative that we had already been with, the Birdman.
Yeah. We could reach out to him.
Yeah.
We also have the other people. Well, we can't really contact them.
If we
The
want to
same
get
way,
this
but-
town wealthy, there's ways
Not
of
wealthy.
doing that.
Rebuilt.
Again, there's ways of getting coin.
Again, just be clear that you understand what I'm describing. There's a good amount of commerce that comes through the city. It's crushingly heavily taxed.
Yeah.
So there's almost no money being fed to the government because it's all being passed to other provinces, other city-states.
Yeah, and what Ophios is saying, and for the record, is perhaps the funds we had given to the Birdman for their purposes they might be interested in helping out Momley to return to prominence. It's not a lot, but maybe a little bit could help bolster people.
You don't mean necessarily directly Birdman. You mean specifically Ursina, like the
Yeah,
different
like the
persons
people
in
were helping
Ursina.
us out
The
there.
people that were helping us in Ursina.
Yep.
That's a long trip.
It's not. But it's aid that could be sent here,
How many
Like a
miles is
month.
that?
and not only that. Like, if we can take away taxes and bolster it to begin with, winning the favor of the people because now they're living better lives and having a better.
Ophios, would you don't you have people that can provide things for trade that we could start our own new commerce here?
He would glare at you.
Was that not
The answer actually is yes, because of what you had discussed. You have yet to go there to visit this place to meet with whoever this is that was looking to aid you, but Ravenhold he's referring to.
Yeah, I understand what he's referring to, but the way he worded it, Ophios would glare at him and said, yes, Ravenhold has a stake here and would possibly be of
we
aid,
could
of
bring
commerce.
new traders in and maybe start selling things that isn't quite legal in other parts for some quick cash.
Not worried about cash flow. I'm worried about rebuilding. Once the people see that the city is getting better,
You
their
don't
pockets
rebuild
are getting
without-
better.
Without gold.
Hence why I was saying we consult our friends in Ursina.
We have a week until shit goes south north.
We have a week until we must leave. That doesn't mean we can't show our hand prior to. And it doesn't mean we can't return after Zolgoth.
I'm agreeing with Vance. I don't think making a promise and then leaving is gonna sedate their appetite for change. We promised them radical change quickly, and then we took leadership, and now we're telling them a month or multiple months, maybe years to rebuild. I mean, yes, it's nice to have a plan, but they're not all going to agree with it. And then the ones that don't are going to
Rally them for the cause and return them their pride and their wealth. That is the plan I'm referring to. Recruit them to aid us for Zolgoth, like Rena was saying. And pay them in return with the rebuilding of prominence for their city. It's a long-term thing, but we don't necessarily have to be here for it all.
Right, but that might be the problem. You don't see that as a possible problem of us going to do other things and leaving the rebuilding to happen without us? Over time, long periods of time? I'm just saying these people have been lied to before. And something has finally happened, some great change has finally happened in their life, and now we're going to leave and promise them rebuilding slowly over time.
You're the one who made the promise to Mathis, Cuddy.
He kind of saved us.
Rena, the end all be
too.
all comes to you.
Rena, before you make a decision, hey, Nightingale, do you know of people that could possibly come to this town and trade things openly that might not be legal in other towns and could increase our trade here?
I mean, you'll actually have to speak to the guilds about that one. They're
I
the
can do
ones that
that.
would handle that sort of a commerce.
But you could get me in contact with them quickly.
I could, yes. But more importantly, the town does have trade.
Yeah.
I think Laszlo was wondering if you... Not Laszlo. Vance was wondering if you were going to be keeping the commerce or passing it to its appropriate owners.
What I
Its
was saying
previous
is
owners.
it would go. What I was saying is it would go to the people.
Yeah. So more or less, you're not going to pass it off to the Paradel, which I don't blame you for. It's okay.
Correct.
Yeah, makes sense. So,
Yeah, keep the money in Momley.
Laszlo says, not Laszlo again. Sorry, I keep doing that. Although actually, Laszlo says, well, what's good about the cash? Good salary to a soldier. If you make a soldier's salary one of the better salaries, recruiting happens all on its own.
And then we're the same as Paradel. Yeah.
Oh, what? He says, and Vance says, actually, no, that's not a bad idea. Paying the soldiers well would entice a lot more people to sign up for it than otherwise would. I mean, maybe not the best people to sign up for it, but would swell your numbers considerably.
As long as the people understand they will have to defend this town. Trouble is coming, and I fear sooner rather than later.
Are we all saying the same thing? I'm so confused.
We're not going to be paying the Paradel anything that they are to be owed, and using the extra funds to create our army.
One to defend the city, yes.
And to help us take back what is theirs.
What is
Possible.
ours? Says Laszlo. But specifically to Rena, not to the two of you.
What is ours? She'll say.
Vance says...
The initial work is the most important. So...
I agree the initial work is the most important, and I understand the timeline and the urgency that you have, but I'm going to be urgent as well in saying one last time, reiterating the final points. By taking yourself away and maintaining the warrior guys, it's going to have an impact on their view of you, your endeavor, and so on. Because, of course, everybody understands. You're here to free maybe Vala, maybe just this region, maybe all of Paradel, who knows, whatever it is. They understand that, sure. But it's been days, and you're already going to pick up your pack and walk away? What impression does that leave on them? That the conquest is more important than... Anyways, think on it. Couple days, you said, right?
3.
Think on it.
we will. We'll meet again in 3 days.
Can we meet in less?
2. In 2.
Ophios was going to chime in to meet in less, too, because we would need to be getting on the road.
Okay, fine. We'll just tomorrow then.
How
Well-
about breakfast?
Yeah.
Laszlo
does
does.
this-
Laszlo
2 hours
does
from
say,
now? 2 hours
I'm
from
free
now?
for dinner.
Okay.
All right, we can reconvene later.
Ophios would probably... we never got the name of the soldiers, the guards that were there, but would tell Laszlo a description of them and say, now be kind. But perhaps they'd be good use. They were honorable, but were obviously invested in their own kind and not the foolish man who hid behind them.
Yeah, their names are Sinatra and Boosie.
Got him.
All right.
Destroyed.
All right, we'll reconvene later.
Sounds great.
What time is it in the day?
Morning, noonish is probably, whatever it is.
All right, so then we'll come back around like, I don't know, 7 in the evening after dinner.
So, Ophios, Rena, guess want some sandwiches? Because a lot of sandwich chop is just making me a little hungry.
Yes, let's go get some lunch. We'll get up and head out. I don't know where we're gonna go, but somewhere.
You guys gonna leave? Yep.
I was gonna ask if before this meeting we could have done the blacksmithing stuff with the body and things. But
that's going to take the whole time that Rena is there, kind of going back and forth. So it's kind of like she'll be able to roll for it before you guys leave for Zolgov.
Okay. When we take this lunch, we should have a talk, the three of us. About
so but you also there is a moment where as you guys are kind of like coming out, you do see her coming down the stairs, cleaned up from the road and outfit changed to be something a little bit more dashing. Uses significant more elegance to her. If we were calling her a out of 20, if she was a 12 before, she's probably closer to a 15 now. Again, we're not talking like, oh my god, drop dead gorgeous, but this is definitely an attractive woman that you have to see.
She's walking towards us as we're walking.
She's coming down the stairs as you guys are going towards the front door area to like leave out to go grab sandwiches from out in the town or whatever, right?
Shit. Okay, Rita's gonna.
You screwed up. You can't go down in hotness when you clean up. You needed to roll. You needed to roll. No,
he's from
you aren't listening.
No. He's from Florida. Okay.
No, that's me. That's how I look right now.
Okay. So what I was trying to say, Messy, is you roll a 1d8.
Okay.
To add on to the 12.
A D8. That's too much. Okay, that's better.
14.
So she's a 7 now. Out of 10.
Yeah. Sure. I was rolling for myself though, and I'm a 1. So.
Remember, guys, I'm at 11 because I'm Daelicious.
That was gross.
I know.
All right.
Was that not this campagn? Was it a different campaign?
No, that was this campaign.
Oh,
there's Ophios. Ophios is a 17.
He had to put that out there.
Cool.
I just had to throw it out there since you rolled for yourself.
So, yeah, as we leave the room, we see her. Yondis, not realizing that that's someone important, is just going to turn to Ophios and be like, so, where were you when we were starting that?
You misunderstand. Ophelia, meet Yondis. He's full of jokes.
She goes, oh, were you implying that Ophios and I engaged with one another?
No, I was just wondering where he was while we were having a very important meeting.
Yondis. That's your name? If I'm to engage with anybody here, she says, and she'll like give you like a bit of a smile.
Yes.
Are you going to finish your sentence or? You know what? Don't.
He does.
Do you say, are you going to finish your sentence or? Her face drops and she says, oh my. I honestly assumed somebody with your upbringing wasn't. If you were waiting for somebody special, I completely understand.
Rita's just gonna laugh.
I have no idea what's happening.
Ophios is like tapping Rena on the shoulder, like this is great. This is great.
Look at this.
Ophios understands this and Yondis doesn't. This is the times. This is 2020, guys.
This is. Never mind. She's of his kind. He understands more so of his kind than. Yeah.
She waits, looking at you coyly for a response, if any, or does he just get the whole like I can't take a joke, kind of like frustrated?
So, is there a reason you took Ophios away from the meeting that we were having?
We needed to become acquainted, or I should say, further acquainted with one another.
Gross.
We need to speak.
The three of us or the four of us?
All four of us. Don't worry, she won't bite. He puts a big smirk on his face when he says that to Yondis.
I don't think I've even seen you bite someone.
You have. You've seen me bite somebody.
When have you bitten someone?
I was in snake form.
Rena's gonna walk over to Ophelia and just be like, look, if these two dudes are bothering you, we could just,
It's funny you said it to her. She looks at you and she says, oh, I'm very, very much interested in having long conversations with you, getting to know you. But first and foremost, those Perrin cheekbones, they really do compliment your face.
Who are you again?
Ophelia,
she's just
please,
gonna be
try
like,
to keep up.
Right, but what's your business with us?
Let's speak in a room, please, Yondis.
Outside's almost a room.
Good.
does it
You guys
matter?
step
All
aside.
right, we'll duck in somewhere, yeah.
Yep.
Or out.
Yep. You're good.
Somewhere more private.
Ophios will say, he'll simply say, Ophelia, I'll let you say whatever you choose to. They are well aware of what I am and of what Lopers are.
Oh my god, are you related?
What did you say?
Are you related?
I imagine Ophios and Ophelia look at each other and go, no.
I just thought because of the name. I don't know.
Rena's just gonna lean over to Giannis and say, I think they're just like the same kind.
Not exactly. We're quite different.
Ophios is going to lower his hood.
Sorry. This is a snake?
Oh my god!
Wait, but we're outside. You did that while we were outside?
No. We
No,
stepped
we're-
into a room.
Oh, okay. Confused.
I
And
just wanted to eat. And you guys were like,
Ophios
Do you
would
have
do
the
so where there's
sandwiches?
no window.
So you lower your hood. She says, for instance, this here is Ophios, and there are others similar to him which are very overtly different from your kinds. I am less so. Nonetheless, we both were born and raised with the same idea in mind that apparently the two of you were lit in on.
okay.
Technically,
So you're
he
all-
sought us out.
Well, it's fine. I don't know if you're allowed to say that. I don't know if maybe.
I mean, I don't think
Cultural
he would
thing,
care.
I
I
don't
mean,
know
he-
the nuances of your engagements with one another, but it seems like we're all fighting for the same reason.
Yeah. So you're also, you fought in one before and killed them?
Oh, I have never engaged with a loper, though I would not be afraid to do so should the time ever come. It's not my place to engage with them, though. That is his responsibility.
She is, should I say, more of the noble of our race.
Oh, milady.
I'm more of what you would think of as a chronicler.
So you write stories.
I keep stories, yes.
Is that why you wanted to talk to us? For the logs?
Not exactly. To provide my knowledge. Ophios here, unfortunately, is very ignorant. It's part of his training. There's much that he doesn't need to know.
I'm gonna give him a tap on the shoulder with it.
we're just both like,
Ophios is just sitting here like, wait, I came here to be insulted? You came here what?
It's a
Ophios, who's
2020
your
perspective
friend?
that the word ignorant is an insult. It's just a fact. You don't know.
Yeah, honestly, this is his kind, so he's not even gonna flinch at it. He doesn't feel insulted.
There's what he needs to know, what he's been trained for, how to find them, how to hunt them, how to kill them, and hopefully how to not die in the meanwhile, but above all else, to not let others in on the secret of our existence.
It's only been like 3 or 4 of us.
He'll kind of just sit there and just be like, extenuating circumstances call for extenuating actions.
Which it's funny that you probably struggled with this. This is something that was a difficult decision for you to make, and I imagine probably a violent one at times. However, not unique.
He looks straight at Messi or Giannis, just kind of like tilting his head.
She
Don't
says,
give me that look.
however,
Body each
not
other in
unique. You're not the first person to have had to enlist others than our kinds to succeed in their endeavors.
Ophios is very perplexed.
You are ignorant because you were trained to be that way. You knew what you needed to do to succeed in your task, and look at this. You have done what nobody else has, or at least nobody else hasn't survived long enough for us to learn it. Unless you and I die, and them, this information's getting out there. All of the conclaves will know.
Is that a good thing?
All the clutches. All the clutches.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the clutches. I was like, I was gonna say.
All of the clutches will know. Is this a good thing? This is something that has never happened before. Ever.
But you're also not winning, right?
Okay, so
We're
Snaga,
turning the tide.
the difference between a mechanic and an engineer. That's how I would say is the difference between Ophios and...
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. I was like, what are you talking about? Then I realized what he was saying.
I was reading
Yeah.
Snagas.
Yeah, exactly. You're a mechanic. Like, you know how to fix
Yeah.
shit. Like, you're really good at... Like, you can be, like, a top-notch, but you don't know how to necessarily design and develop and so on and so forth. Correct. Yeah. Good. Really, really good analogy, Tyler. Thank you. So anyways, moving on. So again, like, that kind of like it blows you back or whatever on that one. She says, the important thing isn't what you've done. The important thing is what you do.
Start a rebellion against Paradel?
No. Yondis. You
Means
have
to an
the
end.
tree written, of course, of the Loper line.
Well, yeah, but it's not exactly secret knowledge. It's a
It's secret that it's Lopers, and this is new info
right.
that Ophelia has informed me of. Please share. Show her what you have written. The information.
Yeah. He whips it out. Not. Hold on. He takes it.
Is it pink? Is it pink?
What?
He
Oh
takes
my God.
the little pedigree that he wrote on, hands it to her, and he's like, "But don't take it. I only have the one copy, and sometimes the names get mixed up in my brain."
So you hand it to her, and she looks down and she reads it over, and she says, "Krengal. That is illuminating and intimidating."
Hold on, I'm getting a call.
That's my medicine alarm. Don't come at me.
That is illuminating and intimidating. The idea that a family so robust and powerful, well, I suppose it makes sense.
Ophios will point to the one that's crossed off. That's the one that was here's.
Funny enough, when he does that, it points to that and says, "That's the one that you." Say that again.
Was here's.
That's the one that was here. Do you do it with that accent?
Yeah.
And you do so as you fall into it better than you have been for a long time as you were trying to switch in and out of it. It's one of those funny things where you like struggle. You were struggling before to kind of like switch back and forth between them or whatever. When you do that now, it just falls perfect. It's like, you guys hear it, it's like a much heavier accent than it was before. It just like perfectly falls into it. Anyways, so you say that. She doesn't take note of it or anything like that. But maybe these two
What a
do.
build up.
But
Rena's like, oh, let's be back.
so anyways, you say that here's, and she says, she nods and says, "Well, I suppose that's one notch under the belt, and there's a considerable number to go, and that's assuming it's only the Krengal. What if they're spouses? What if they were placed to be spouses but aren't in fact? What about those that are closest to them, secretaries or allies? How many of them might be Lopers, even if of a lesser degree? This might be the heraldry. This might be the family, the ancient family line that has the greatest power. But there will be others around them. Tell me, please. I have heard the stories, and I keep them close to my heart and in my mind. But describe to me what it was like to battle one like these."
She talking to Ophios or to all of us?
To all of you, but she looks to Ophios. Because she's, again, you killed one of these, and you said it wasn't my hand, but she gave you full credit for it.
It was unlike the others. More powerful, more intimidating. One could... It tried to turn me inside out. Or so it felt. Like you had described before, Yondis. That you had seen before your eyes.
And the thing that was different mostly between this one and the last one is the fact that this one was invincible.
Correct. What?
Invincible.
This is If we hadn't talked
Yeah,
about
because we
this,
wouldn't. Yeah, we didn't talk about it.
Everybody blinks in the room. All three of them blink in the room when you say that. Like, oh, I got your attention.
like, it's Ophios would simply say, "It's dead. It's dead."
He had a barrier around him we couldn't break through, but by the time I noticed it, Vance figured out a way to crack through it. I just haven't had a word with him about it yet.
Flint.
You mean Flint?
Flint, yeah.
What kind of barrier? And how did you notice it?
You didn't notice when you were hitting them that he wasn't bleeding until the very end?
I can't remember, Scott. I thought that
It was
like
acting,
we were
remember?
seeing.
Yeah, it was acting.
He was acting. I thought we were seeing it happen and like thinking that it was working.
We could see his clothes getting cut, but we never had blood on our blades.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you're right.
There's also another tell as well.
Yeah.
That was picked up
And-
by...
You did smell it, Rena. You did
Yeah, I
hear
know.
it.
I was just waiting for him to say it.
Yeah.
And, honestly, Flint wasn't the most intelligent guy. I think he just broke through on an accident.
What, with enough force?
Enough
Yes.
fortune.
Enough fortune.
Just good luck.
Mm. Accident.
Yeah, did you smell during the fight the, was it Sweetwater? Smelled like Sweetwater, right?
Honeysuckle?
Honeysuckle.
Honeysuckle, yeah.
Excuse me.
Hmm.
Did you say that you could smell honeysuckle?
Yeah, I noticed that.
You're listening.
No, please, jokes aside. The banter is fun, but you
Well,
said you
what's-
could smell honeysuckle on him.
Yes, what's the significance
Does that
of
mean something to you?
It does.
Okay.
These creatures...
What is that beeping noise?
I hear it too, it's very faint.
No idea. These creatures, they are trained in a different type of magic than any of us are capable of.
Yes, time. Controlling time and space.
But they apparently know more than just that. The legends say that they could do more. Not all of them could, but some could do more. Certain ones more so than others. They could do other abilities as well. One of them, like making a barrier that smelled of honeysuckle that could defend it from any attack. Any physical attack would be stopped by it. Like an extra layer of armor. It's not so dissimilar from the training that we get, but with a mastery that we can't even begin to obtain. This family must have mastery over more than just the time and the space. They might have the other powers as well. The ability to manipulate things around them.
The reality stone.
They might also have the ability to see at great distances and read people's thoughts. They might be able to literally alter their bodies in ways that we can't even begin to understand. Not with an incantation, not a rigid spell that's crafted in such a way to definitively turn somebody into a frog or a squirrel based off of the way that you complete its incantation, but just through pure mastery over their own mind and body.
Yondis. And Ed Lama. You said you
Oh,
saw...
Jasmine said it. Sorry to interrupt the flow of the RP right now. Yeah, you know what it is? It's Maggie's broken mic.
Oh.
It's the feedback that apparently it's just getting worse and worse. Like this mic is just, the feedback gets louder and louder and louder for me, which is so
Super
frustrating.
quiet.
Oh my
Chat,
god.
I'm so sorry. I'm literally buying new, like a very expensive, well, not very expensive, it's very expensive for me, but a nice microphone, a whole nice setup, so on and so forth. Not Tyler expensive, but, expensive for me.
Hey, I don't have Tyler expensive stuff. What are you talking
No, not at all. No. So I'm so sorry. It'll be gone in the near future. But go ahead. You were saying something. I totally interrupted the flow of your RP there, Tyler.
What is it, Ophius?
You said you saw a book.
And the second guy? So you're talking about him?
The one you ran from, the one that Rena and I killed,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, he had a book.
We weren't able to find that book. I wonder.
Did you look hard? It was in a library, so I don't understand. I didn't really give the best description.
We looked thoroughly.
Fair enough.
Rena's gonna ask Ophelia. Do you think just one Loper could be casting all of these different spells at a time, or do you think that they would need another caster? I don't know enough about magic.
Generally speaking, Lopers only have the ability to manipulate the time and the space, as we've all come to understand. But these higher caliber ones would have the ability to manipulate more than just that. The ability to manipulate them all is never been heard of. But the ability to manipulate more than just time and space, you can imagine the degree of mastery it takes to do that. These creatures aren't young. These creatures are hundreds of years old.
When we fought the one that was here, it had a barrier of some sort that lasted much longer, even after we had already killed it. Is that typical?
You guys described the barrier, I imagine, to her?
Yeah, it's like a
decent degree?
time
Yep.
barrier sort of thing.
It was a space one.
Oh, space.
Things like that are, to a much, much smaller scale. I can understand what that is based off of legends that I've heard before. But to that caliber, that is what leads me to believe that you have actually found the bloodline.
Are there more of you that could help us in finding these?
She looks to Ophios. We don't usually group many more than what you see here, even in legend.
The most you two have seen at one place was me and two others, although you may not have known it.
We can reach upwards five strong, but aren't necessarily five alone. Again, as legends say, we tend to find friends along the way.
How can you help us to locate the rest and maybe have an easier time fighting them?
I will work through the knowledge that I have and the knowledge that you bring and provide any aid that I can. In the meanwhile, I can be quite helpful in other ways as well. I am a practiced arcanist. I know my way around a spell or two. I tend more towards things that are going to help me glean more information. What you would call illusions or enchantments are the things that I would lean towards mastery. I can pretend to be others fairly well, find myself into situations, and do a good enough job at gleaming knowledge of those around them and their expectations to pretend to be somebody that they expected them to be. Beyond
Pretend
that,
to be somebody.
you say pretend.
Like,
You say pretend to be somebody like, and she
and
actually.
then I'll just look over. Okay, yeah.
Hold on one second. You say pretend to be somebody like, and at the same exact time you say pretend to be somebody like, you guys see something strange happen. She narrows her eyes at Rena, and you see Rena say, pretend to be somebody like again. She literally, it's like one of those things where when it happens a second time, there's like half a moment where you're like, Like, Rena doesn't seem to realize it happened. She continues acting completely normally. But the two of you individually experience like it was a funky deja vu. And it's like almost one of those things like, did that just happen? And then you guys can actually roll an insight check real quick. Tyler and Yondis.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have advantage on this at all, or is it just normal?
Normal.
I rolled a 2.
That's fine. So it's actually Yondis. You see, like, so not Ophios. He just, Rena says that twice, and Ophios, you're thinking to yourself, that was weird. Deja vu. Weird. Yondis, you're the one that's like, that was weird. Deja vu. And you just see, like, Ophios also has a bit of a look on his face, too. Like, did you guys both just experience deja vu together? Rena, that didn't happen for you. You just said, and then you give them a look. Like
Yeah, I was gonna look at them and smile, but then notice they were looking weird, and look back to Ophelia.
So what exactly just happened? Because I was working on something off the side. Rena was saying something, and she narrowed her eyes, and then Rena she was like, I can pretend to be someone, and I was like, pretend to be someone, like, and then I was gonna look at you guys and say me.
So she was like, pretend to be someone like me.
And I didn't notice it, but Yondis did. Are you catching on?
Yeah, I know what's going on. I'm just all right. What does Yondis say?
Like who?
Like me.
What do you do?
She can shapeshift.
Yeah, he like completely blocked out the last part. He's like, that threw him off so much he forgot what just happened.
He was like, "Where am I? Who am I?"
So did Ophelia make Rena just like move the same motion and repeat what she was saying?
It's a really good question.
That's what it looked like.
So anyways, so you that happens, and so she says, "Oh, darling, I don't know if I could pull off those cheekbones quite the way that you do, but I could certainly give it a try. That is almost my size."
It would be very useful if you'd be willing to work with me. And she'll just smile at her.
Oh, I know what's going on now.
Now you catch on. But I asked Ophelia if you'd be willing to work with me.
Mm-hmm. She says, "I'd be more than happy to, of course."
I think I found a solution for our problem here, guys.
Oh.
Tyler's like, I'm trying to figure this out. He's got that I'm thinking face.
I know. I'm trying to think like Ophios right now because he's like.
Well, you did roll a 1, so.
I'm literally being like Ophios still has no clue what's going on, so I'm playing that role. I know what it is because she can literally become Rena and be in this town to act like Rena is still in this town. I get that, but I'm trying to be Ophios. Sorry.
if chat needed a good old tug along. Hey guys, come this way.
Yeah.
There was anyway. The door.
Anyway, Ophios is like, what solution? What are you talking about?
Look, just maybe just like don't show yourself that much though.
What, me? Usually that to me?
Oh, Rena's busy, right? Like she doesn't need to always be out and about.
She says, "I can be quite convincing, but I'm here to lend aid in any way that you need that I am capable of doing.
Just don't want to overdo it.
I'm not going to press any limits if you'd rather not be that way. The big question would be, you met with others, advisors. Are they going to be aware of this?"
I don't think
Ophios
they
just
should
shakes
know.
Ophios just shakes his head, just like.
None of them know about, the Lopers or any of this, or Ophios even.
The thing is, Ophios is shaking his head to the whole thing, like, what is going on?
I don't know, Rena. I think maybe if we're going to leave Vance in charge here, maybe he should be in charge of her too. She's not going to know everything you know. She's not going to act exactly as you all the time.
Ophios will kind
True.
of speak up and be at this point and just be like, wait, so you can be Rena's and... Wait, no. Vance
Yes.
is not. Vance
Yes.
cannot know.
Yes.
Vance cannot
Vance, whoever this Vance is, doesn't need to know who I am. Most people would never even begin to think that there's something like that exists, let alone start to piece it together. Just simply needs to know that I am a friend, lending aid, and posing as Rena for the
Exactly.
benefit of your cause.
But he
I
needs
don't
to
believe. I don't believe Vance would believe in this. He doesn't like lying to the people.
He's an
I think
idealist.
I don't think that he would agree.
Again, I can also be persuasive.
Are you gonna sleep with him?
It's not my first trick.
It was a joke. It was a joke. Ophios says it in such a serious tone that it's like, and then he'll just laugh.
Just say, Ophios, though, I'm genuinely. You do know that we find our mates for life. Are you starting to stunt for me?
Giannis, take care of her.
Look, Ophios, normally when I'm trying to get rid of a girl, I just talk to her.
Yeah, talk to her.
Yeah, that's what Ophios is saying. Yeah.
No, you.
He's thinking kids, family, the whole thing, picket fence.
No, Ophelia, I am not hitting on you, if that is what you mean.
We would be able to train quite the clutch together. Imagine the abilities that they would have.
Yeah, imagine
They
the
could-
abilities, Ophios.
They could deduct so many problems they came across and slice their way through them.
There's another.
On second thought, that's a terrible
There's
idea.
another that has my ire. Ophelia.
Ophios, I'm flattered.
No.
So, go ahead.
Ophios said-
Ire's hatred.
Oh, not my eye.
Oh!
That's what I meant to say, not ire.
Anyway, Rena, I think for the city's sake and Vance's sake, if we're going to be gone for more than a few days, you should probably know that it's not you that he's talking to and that he's in charge. I don't want him to have the wrong impression. Plus, it's no offense, Ophelia, but we've known you for like a total of an hour, and you're a great solution to our problem, but you might bring your own set, and we don't know anything about that. No offense.
Perhaps.
So I think just the safe road would be let him know.
Perhaps you stick with us for the 3 days. We can abide here.
I'm here to lend aid. And I understand that knowing me for about an hour's time, actually significantly less than that, would be a little disconcerting for somebody like you. But understands that from our moment of being hatched till us leaving our clutch ready for combat is 1 year's time. An hour means quite a bit to us.
That's so lovely. But I don't know if I can trust you. I don't even know if that's true. Ophios could say the same thing.
You say, I don't even know if that's true. She actually takes a step over towards Ophios and says, we could show it to you.
What?
Yondis, shut up.
I don't want to see that, even if you were interested.
All it is, you literally see Ophios put his hand.
No, Ophios. She is not flirting with you. She's messing with Yondis.
I know, but Ophios is dense.
Are you taking it seriously? She's messing with Yondis.
He's gonna put his
Rena's
hand
just
on
laughing.
his forehead and just shake his head.
She's like the attractive, nerdy girl, and he's just the dumb jock.
Yeah. It really is true. That is
like
another good analogy.
Take off her glasses and comb her hair a different way, and she was beautiful the whole time.
She's a 9 out of 10 now.
God.
Okay, so Rena,
Yes.
ultimately it would be you, so you should make the call here about who knows, but we should probably lay some rules down regardless, so just wondering what your thoughts are.
I do feel poorly about lying to Vance. I don't want him to think less of me in this way, but at the same time, he has to know that I'm not good at this. She'll just gesture it, outwards. As much as
Ophios-
as
Sorry,
much as
keep
I
going.
care for the people and want to see well for them, I battle. I fight. It's what I do. The whole talking thing, I'm not so good at.
Rena, if I may inquire, when was the first time you lifted an axe or a sword?
It's been so long, I can hardly remember.
A skill so honed, it's just not even second nature. It is like breathing.
I would say so, yeah.
But it doesn't need to be your only skill.
True.
But it sounds like time is of the essence, and we don't want to waste time with you flubbing over words and pissing people off, so I suppose let's have you swing that axe, and I will talk for you in the stead. I have no problem with that. Whether or not Laszlo happens to be the one calling the shots, I do not mind, she says over to Yondis. And then she
How do you
looks
know
over.
who Laszlo is?
I said
means
sorry,
Vance.
I said Vance. Sorry.
Yeah.
Vance. And then she looks over at Ophios and says, "And I will not let them know my true nature." You took even a few moments to identify it.
It's true.
So who do we introduce
Uh,
you as? A mage?
An old friend.
Illusionist, I guess. I don't think that's gonna work.
Really?
I think an illusionist for hire would actually sell better to Vance.
Then an old
Why?
friend? I could tell you more about Ophios than he probably ever has. And we just met.
Like what?
Oh, can you make him say it?
Yeah.
She says, we do not use our magics like this on each other. They're not parlor tricks.
And Ophios
Just when
will
it's
say,
Rena. Gotcha.
of your clutch, do you have a sigil? A mark?
We do.
He'll present his. The faction emblem.
Mine is actually upstairs in the room. It's emblazoned upon my book. I didn't bring it down. You're welcome to see it when we go up.
Would that make you more comfortable?
To who?
He's saying that to
Yondis.
Rena and Yondis.
No.
Specifically more so to Yondis.
I mean, we recognize that as like a symbol of trust, right? Before we went to battle.
For Ophios, the fact that he understands that she is of his kind, he has an immediate trust. There's a trust there, but there's also it's a little bit different between warriors than it is between knowledge. Ophios has only merely heard of this kind. His clutch really did my clutch have any of this?
Yeah. I mean, your clutch was specifically a warrior clutch.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's only heard of this clutch, this type, as opposed to
Yeah, if you
having
saw this kind of
dealt with one.
softness in your clutch, so walking around and like raiding books, you would not be able to be trained as hard as you are. Like the number of you
Right.
that died just at training as like a year old, you were like, "Here's a weapon, bye." You know what I mean, or however old it was, right? Or maybe it's 3, whatever we had said beforehand. Anyways, so you the idea that you would have this kind of a soft thing, like, "Oh, you guys are fighting, cool. I'm gonna go read a book." Nah, you're very much. You know what you need to know when you need to know it.
Yeah, because literally only the few survive, the strongest of the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
Which Rena and Giannis don't know, but
I think what would make me most comfortable is if I could talk to Ophios and Rena alone for a minute. We can make a plan.
if you would, I'll meet you upstairs with Giannis as well. We'll see the sigil later. Or if you would bring it down later, that would be great as well.
I feel as though as a certain attire I need to get comfortable in.
Ophios looks to Giannis like,
And she turns and she says, "Gentlemen, Your Highness," and she'll turn and walk out.
and Ophios will say, "When's the last time you got laid, Giannis?"
It was a while before I met you guys. and it's going to be a long time after.
Not with that attitude.
Messy's throwing the gauntlet and saying, I am not having sex with Scott. He's like,
Well-
because you know what that'd be like afterwards. He'd climb into bed like 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, and his girlfriend would just be like, you okay?
Don't talk to
He'd
me.
be like, baby, what's wrong? No.
I just want to be alone.
I need a shower.
I'm gonna sleep
Never
on the
mind.
couch.
You just started
I
sobbing
just-
on the shower floor.
Yeah, I just
Holding
picture him
the soap.
sitting in the shower.
Pick up the cat, grab a beer, put a pillow in the tub, and just lay down. Rock bottom.
Oh, beer in the shower
Anyway.
is one of the greatest things ever.
Shower beers are the best.
So good.
Anyway,
It's been a while for you, huh, Daelric?
All right, Giannis, lead the way here.
Yeah. So she's gone, right? So look, Ophius, I understand that you trust her, but we're talking about a one city that we've just taken control of that could possibly lead to an entire revolution, and I feel like there's a lot of risk in letting an outsider in, even if the perfect fit for our puzzle. I still want to have some safety precautions just in case. Hope you understand. Now, with that being said, I'm thinking we lay down some ground rules. If we agree to do this, the first one would be that Vance knows. The second one being that if she becomes anyone other than herself, as in any of us, either me or you, or perhaps Laszlo or someone else, and Vance catches it, that there should be some kind of repercussions in the form of, what has to be done.
If anyone is to strike her down, they will meet my blade. And if anyone is to strike her down, it would be me.
We might be weeks away, is the thing. Well, who knows what's
It
going to
matters not. That is the way.
This is the way.
then we must make it clear to her that she's only to.
I believe it already is clear.
I don't want to leave things up to implications. I do want to vocalize it. But I'll let you kill her. That's fine.
We cannot let Vance know. If
Vance has to know that's not real Rena. He has to know. There's too much power in her being someone else. Being able to mimic anyone could be a major concern, again, for a city who takes orders from Rena.
My concern is less who knows here, but disguising Rena as we continue on. If we are to speak of the Conquest, if Rena is in two places at once, it makes no sense.
I could change my appearance in some ways, but not in the way that you do.
You're known for your axe.
Which I
Perhaps we
don't
go
have.
away from the axe. You have the blade now.
You want to free another city with a different queen?
How else do you expect this? If there's an illusion and it's like Rena is here, obviously they can't know. But it
Only
could be
Vance.
friends of Rena's.
Coming on my behalf.
To explain
help.
why we were gone.
I mean,
Rena could
surely
not
they
be
would-
Rena.
They would understand that why I would have to stay in Momley to set things up here if she were to send others on her behalf. It wouldn't be that far-fetched.
Or if she just wasn't seen for a time being.
Do you want to be known as Rena the Coward? Takes one city and then sends lackeys off to free another? You're supposed to be a warrior, right? That's the vision.
I see
What do
your
you
point.
expect if we have an illusionist here? Rena cannot be in two places as once,
Who
Yandis.
says she can't? That would be a great rumor. That would help you so much. People would be like, oh my god, it's Rena. She's in two
But when
places
it-
at once.
But wouldn't that cause chaos in the city we already hold?
He
No,
may
That
have a
word
point.
got here.
She'd look like a powerful mage and a warrior. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We have more tricks up our sleeve than just a big axe, right?
I mean, how many
It's
rumors?
more than just Rena the warrior. It's Rena the two places at once warrior.
How many rumors are circulating about the Lopers that
Hold on.
gave some of
Naga in chat, could you please write down how many rumors already exist about Rena? I think you know them better than everybody else.
Oh my god.
They say she can command snakes. That's great.
Yep, Queen
It's
of the
great.
Snakes.
But no, you guys keep
So
going.
many.
You guys keep going.
Yondis actually says that.
Do not tell Nightingale. That would be something Ophios would definitely say.
No, we don't. No. We
No.
don't need to do that. Although, no, I'm kidding. We tell Vance to keep it a secret. Only Vance knows. We tell Laszlo that if anything happens to Vance, he's in charge. And then we got our bases covered.
If we were to tell Vance, I mean, everything, it could be to our favor. Him being able to hold up the facade and also being able to understand why I would have to leave.
What do you mean by everything?
I think she means the illusionist, correct? He looks kind of impatiently questioning whether you're revealing him without his knowledge.
Not you. No, I mean...
or her.
And the Lopers. Which we did. He does kind of know, actually. I did tell him.
You told him.
Told him of the creatures, but not the word
the
loper.
creatures. I did not call it a loper. I
That
did
is
say
acceptable.
it was a creature.
That is acceptable.
So he is aware, and if we
Do
tell
not
him,
start spreading the word of lopers if lopers hear of that.
No, not that. But if we, tell him or reference that as a reason for why I would have to leave, he might be able to understand if he knew that there was something bigger than just trying to start this rebellion and finish it. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
So I agree with Yondis in this case. It
My
may
God.
not be so bad that I am in multiple places at once. It could intimidate, Paradel and whoever else.
You ever wish you could just bottle a moment up? It's hard being wrong all the time, I'll let you know, but every once in a while when you stop clock strikes twice, right?
He's saying that specifically for Ophios, but Tyler's distracted.
Mm-hmm.
What were you saying, Yandis?
I'm saying it's a good idea
To
tell Vance of there being an illusionist who's playing Rena and will be in two places at once.
I will accept this. But only if he reacts properly. If he
Only
is
if he
opposed to it. If he is opposed. No. He's simply saying,
Careful.
I'm not going to kill him, Yandis.
Okay, well, I mean,
We need him.
The point is, if he reacts negatively to it and is not on board 100%, he will have tells.
He seems like the kind of person who can carry himself well in front of the people. I don't think that he would be a problem. Especially with, working with someone convincing. If she's as convincing
Look.
as she says she is.
he wanted Rena to stay. We're giving him, granted, not exactly what he asked for, but it checks the boxes as long as he does everything okay. I don't see that being an issue.
I
So
find
it's
these terms
decided.
acceptable.
All right, great.
Then we should
Now,
tell this to Ophelia
Well, we should probably, yeah, and then we
to
should
get
let
her
Vance
on board
know.
first, yeah, and then
But
tell
guys,
him.
I am,
You introduce at the same time as talking about it, perhaps.
guys, I'm starving. I want a sandwich so bad.
Thought you had the sandwiches.
No, we came here instead. I'm very hungry. We haven't gone to lunch yet.
I have this
Okay.
bottle of Loper blood.
Ew.
Well, between two slices of bread and some meat, could probably pass. Some kind of sauce,
Yes, let's
Garby sauce.
let's get ourselves some lunch, and perhaps the sigil would help calm your nerves.
My God, if you want her to eat lunch with us, that's fine. Just, can we please eat?
It gives her more time to study Rena and therefore be able to mimic her much better.
Funny thing happens when you guys leave this room to head out and see the sigil, whatever it is. Literally, as the door opens up for you to leave the room, you guys must have not been paying much attention. You heard a little bit of like a ruckus out there, but as you heard people moving around, whatever it was, nothing like really caught you as an alarm or anything like that. Just, oh, they must have been like setting up or moving back and forth, whatever the case may be. Anyways, you open up the door, and as soon as you open up the door, you literally hear, "Happy birthday to you," or the equivalent of it in Aurorum, as there's a big group of people and a large cake with several candles put on it. And they're lit, and they're literally coming towards you with a large cake. And they continue singing "Happy Birthday," specifically to Ophios. There's a lot of people here. Absolutely.
Ophios, what day were you born?
I don't know days, but this seems odd. He would immediately draw his blade.
People look scared or whatever, and you actually hear Laszlo go, "You blow out the candles, buddy."
Sorry, he just was excited to cut the cake. Ophios, just blow out the candles. What's going on? Do we celebrate birthdays at Momley now?
It's one of those things where Laszlo kind of pushes his way through, and he's like, "Ophios, blow out the candles, I'll explain."
Ophios blows out the candles.
Everyone dies! No.
Oh
Ophios,
my god.
Ophios blows out the candles, and people are like, "Ah!" It was awkward for a while, but they do the whole cheer thing, like to carry the cake away, they're going to go in. And he brings you in, and he's like, "There's a rumor going around town. People have been talking about it for a couple of days. That apparently it's your birthday. I don't know, but apparently it's your birthday. And so the people were trying to impress Rena by welcoming you, by making you a birthday cake, and singing to you. They brought gifts."
Laszlo, where did this...
Not Laszlo, this one's Vance.
Oh, Vance? Where did this rumor originate?
I don't know, but people seemed really heartwarmed by it. We let it go.
Fine, but after the celebration, we need to talk, okay?
Of course not.
It's business.
I do not trust this at all. He literally had thrown a guard's head off the porch. Why would he trust
daddies?
in good
Which
in
one
good
of you
faith?
was it?
And with that, we'll end the session now because it's at 40
God.
minutes late, and I am fucking tired. I have so much shit I got to do tomorrow. I am so busy.
Snaga says fortune favor for a cake. I don't believe that.
Well, why? Whose
You
idea
know
was
what?
this?
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Okay, I guess it's something we need to figure out.
This is terrifying. I'm so scared.
And that's how we're gonna start next season.
Oh my god. Oh, the
all of
cake?
a sudden, Ophios opens one of the gifts and it's just all bombs and it blows up.
It's the head of the guy you threw off the balcony. We gave it back.
Oh my god.
All right, let us bounce out of here. I gotta go to bed. I'm tired. It's been a long week, and I've
I'm
got
eating
more
cake,
long
not
weeks ahead of me.
salad.
Patrick is streaming.
Thank you.
So
Who's
is
Pat Static?
Roxy.
Yeah.
Roxy's not.
That's on. Who's streaming?
Wait, Doc isn't streaming anymore and she didn't rate us?
You wait, hold up.
I'm gonna backhand
Pat's streaming, but I haven't seen Maggie in forever. Let's go send some Maggie
Yes,
some love.
Maggie's
Everybody.
playing some Animal
She's playing
Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Yeah, come on, everybody. We have to go swing by and give Maggie love. We all love Maggie for a million reasons. Mine are better than yours, but nonetheless. So let's go do that. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Let's come along for the raid. Raid Maggie. Mago Rock Mag.